Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy O.N.E once again, bringing you 60 seconds of substance. Today we're coming out of the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verses 8 through 11, talking about the rebellions of Israel. But they rebelled against me and would not obey me. They did not all cast away the abominations which were before their eyes, nor did they forsake the idols of Egypt. Then I said, I will pour out my fury on them and fulfill my anger against them in the midst of the land of Egypt. But I acted for my name's sake, that it should not be profaned before the Gentiles among whom they were, in whose sight I had made myself known to them, to bring them out of the land of Egypt. Therefore I made them go out of the land and brought them into the wilderness, and I gave them my statutes and showed them my judgments, which if a man does, he shall live by them. All right, and so what we see here in the scripture is how God decided to deal with Israel. All right, and so Israel was a rebellious people. They were full of idol worship and all kinds of abomination. And so God, wanting to deal with them and understanding that God chastises whom he loves, he wanted to correct them and pour out his fury on them. But he didn't want to do that because of his reputation in the midst of the Gentiles. So while Israel was surrounded by other nations, he didn't want to put out his fury on them because of who he was and who the other nations or what they knew about him, all right, his reputation. And so what that did was it afforded Israel grace, all right? And so grace, I think we sometimes get confused with grace, thinking that that means we got away with something. Now, he's not letting you get away with it, but there's a time and place to deal with whatever it is, or to deal with whatever it is that he needs to deal with pertaining to you and whatever sin it is that you're committing. And that's just like when, as parents, when we're dealing with our children, right? We should think about this in the same way. Of course, God always sets the example. We see our kids doing wrong. It's not always right to embarrass them in front of the other people, right? Especially based on your reputation as their parent. What you should do, get them to a place where now you have your individual time with them, and then you correct them. And that's why the scripture says he allowed them to get into the wilderness. And we all know what happened when they got into the wilderness. And so God's reputation allows us grace. And our reputation should allow our kids grace as well. That's your 60 seconds of substance. And remember, God is inspirational substance. Shalom.